Hi, Minden here. I'm a graduate assistant within the Career Development Center, and today I'm going to discuss some tips for dealing with difficulty during the job search process. So, as we all know, right now especially, it can be very difficult to find a job, especially if you're a new graduate, a recent graduate, or if you're maybe looking for an internship or another opportunity right now. A lot of them have been canceled or postponed. So it can be really difficult, along with the financial stress, feelings of rejection, feeling like you're letting people down or you're failing in some way. It's hard to not be affected by it emotionally. So just remember, it's not your fault, you're not alone, and there's various reasons why this is all happening. So now I'm going to discuss 5 tips for dealing with difficulty during the job search process. So the first tip is to create structure and stay organized. So treat job hunting like it is a job itself. Set aside hours for when you will conduct your job search and set boundaries with that too, so that your job search doesn't bleed over into other areas of your life and affect your well-being. Also set small goals to help you feel accomplished and break larger tasks down into smaller tasks. So maybe you have to write a cover letter for a job. Perhaps spend one day writing the intro and the next day writing your first paragraph, and then the next day writing your second paragraph and a closing statement. So breaking the task down into smaller pieces can just help it seem more manageable. It's also important to keep track of the jobs you applied for. So there is a spreadsheet that the Career Development Center has that you can use to keep track of the jobs that you applied for. It just makes it easier so that you're not trying to remember what you applied for. And you can know when to maybe follow up with that job opportunity if you haven't heard back from them. So the second tip is to learn new skills. So look at this extra time as maybe some sort of a gift. Maybe you can volunteer if that's possible, or take an online class or a career development course. There's so many offerings on different websites for coding, leadership skills, graphic design. So I'm sure you can find something related to your industry, or maybe just do a course that interests you to help you feel more productive during your days. The third tip is to take breaks. So by taking breaks, you give yourself time to assess your physical and emotional well-being and maybe replenish your reserve as needed. And be sure to diversify your activities within your job searching process. So not all your time has to be spent scrolling through Indeed or other job search platforms. Maybe you can set up a Zoom call with someone in your industry to maybe gain more information about that industry and what's happening in it. And the Loyola Alumni Network is also a great way to find mentors within your field. The fourth tip is to stay social. So one of the best ways to take a mental break from your job search and to just reaffirm the parts of your identity that don't have anything to do with career is to spend time with family and friends. It's also a good way to combat isolation that many job seekers tend to face. The fifth tip is to know your triggers. So ask yourself maybe what situations make you feel the most bummed out or trigger stress. So for example, maybe you feel concerned when you don't hear back from a job right away after an interview. So if you can identify a situation like this, maybe you can create some type of buffer to help you cope with it better. So in that example, you could ask your interviewer when you can expect to hear back about the opportunity, just so that it lessens your anxiety around this situation. And so those are my 5 tips for dealing with difficulty during the job search. And also remember that resources are available. The Career Development Center is here to help you. For Loyola students and recent alumni, we offer in-depth assistance in job search strategies, interviewing skills, and much more. And it's super helpful to just have someone there with you to help guide you along in that job searching process. Handshake is also a great tool to find jobs and internships, specifically geared towards students and recent alumni. It's also where you can set up an appointment with a Career Development Center coach. And last but not least, remember the University Counseling Center is a resource for all Loyola students. So if the job search process is getting super overwhelming to the point where it feels difficult to even carry on, please seek out this resource. So all these resources will be linked below, and as always, the Career Development Center is here for you. Follow us on Instagram at EmployThePack, and subscribe to our channel if you'd like, and let us know what other content you'd like to see with us.